Morning, guys. We got this thing. Oh man, I really have to go and buy myself some wireless headphones again. I lost my other ones. I am at this really awesome cafe. Honestly, I drink decaf coffee and they make the best decaf coffee here, and the service is amazing. Like, I always love when I find these gems, few and far between, but this one's really awesome. Well, today I really wanted to talk to you about affirmations, because in any sort of metaphysical world, anything to do with manifestation or even with mindset work, they always like, it's your mindset, it's your mindset. You're like, yeah, no, it's my mindset. But yesterday, oh man, did I have an awful day. My mind was really, I let my mind take over, and the way I like to think about it is, those action movies, those Hollywood action movies where there's this fight scene, like there's this massive fight scene, right? And the hero gets beaten to the pulp. Like the bad guy hits the guy with a metal pole and a metal pipe and bashes him over the head, and he falls over and he gets up again, and then he gets hit in the stomach and thrown off a 3-story building and lands on a plank with his back on a plank, and he sort of recoils in pain, and then he's lying there and he's keeled over, and the guy comes and kicks him in the kidneys, and he and he's still sort of lying there in pain, and just as the baddies go cut him in half with a chainsaw, he sort of finds his strength and then kicks the baddie's legs out from under him and fights back. And that's how it sort of continues, and that's sort of how it happens in my mind when I allow my mind to just take control, my monkey mind. And honestly, the mind sort of hits me with everything it has, and then I come back and I'm like, no, everything's working out for my highest good, and I slowly pick myself up again, and then my mind comes back with some retort and just knocks me and kicks me in the kidneys, and so that's what happens in my mind. And the interesting thing I always find with this is every now and then I come back up for air, and I come back and I use my senses to sort of realize where I'm at, and I'm like, nothing's happening, like nothing is physically happening externally. The sun's shining, birds are singing, like I'm breathing, but in the mind it creates such suffering, and from those thoughts I feel so bad. Like I feel like, honestly, it's tremendously bad when I want to curl up in the ball and just cry. And I know the triggers of that. And the interesting thing for me with those things, when that happens to me, is I know why it's happening. Like I know the pattern. I know the pattern, and I can feel it coming on. And then instead of doing something about it, I fall into the familiar pattern, because the familiar pattern of being beaten to the pulp by my own thoughts and then the recoiling with bad feeling is so familiar and comfortable to me that changing takes energy, right? Changing and even knowing what to do takes energy, and sometimes I don't want to, right? It's all, and that's when I'm in my unconscious mind, right? And I share this with you because we always get told, oh, just do affirmations and be fine. And I just really wanted to express that to you, because when people meet me, and I'm really positive and I'm an optimist, etc., but I do have those days where I do mindfuck myself. And so coming back to affirmations now, and the intention of affirmations, and I reckon there's two intentions that are really useful for affirmations. Is one, the law of attraction is really the law of reflection, and the universe reflects back your vibration, which means how you feel, right? And so affirmations are repeated statements which really are thoughts that lift you up on the higher vibrations. So even if your current reality, which is formed from your past thoughts, is not reflecting what you want and how you want to feel, the purpose of affirmations is like, I'd love you to imagine someone hasn't seen you for a while and they go, hey man, like, how are you going? Like, how's life? And you just say the things that you want reflected back to you. Because as I said, your current reality is a reflection of your past thoughts. So you want to say things that the universe hears and goes, oh, that's great, and reflects that back to you. And make sure that those affirmations, you feel good when you say them, right? You feel amazing when you say them. So that's really important. Like, and sometimes it takes a bit of practice. Sometimes the statements will ring true for you and give you a little buzz. Keep that one. You don't need to have 100. Like, I've done that where I've had too many. And that doesn't quite work for me all the time, because then I was so busy trying to remember them all that I was just losing it. So really remember, the law of attraction is a law of reflection, and what you put out there is reflected back to you. So when you do affirmations, imagine it's like your friends you haven't seen in a while say, hey man, how are you? And you speak stuff into existence. So that's the intention of it, of number one. And it's just another dog walking past. Oh, it's another Cocker Spaniel. Oh, Taco. Sorry about it. And so the second one is it's changing your thoughts into thoughts that make you feel good, right? As I mentioned, right? So the affirmation will eventually become the way you think. So when you have a thought which feels like a lead pipe hitting you against the head, which makes you feel bad, you replace it with a positive affirmation. And in order to do that, you have to identify those repetitive thoughts that keep whacking you. So you have to sit down and write those out, and write those out, and then find the affirmation that counterbalances that, right? So Rhonda Byrne loves to go, when you have what she labels a negative thought, you say cancel, cancel, cancel 3 times, and then you repeat a positive affirmation, a positive thought. And that's sort of retraining yourself to think differently. So the affirmation then eventually becomes your natural thought process. So those are two ones. Again, for me, don't bite off more than you can chew, as they say. For me, I'm typical of this. I like to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm like, I'm done. I throw everything away, and then I leave, and then I'm in this mess, right? So maybe I always say, maybe let's start with one thought. That one is the kicker, right? Where the baddie has kicked you in the nuts and you really recoil, you'll know the thought. Take that one, find a positive affirmation for that makes you feel good, and repeat that to yourself. Every time you feel that thought, repeat that to yourself. What I also like to do with my clients is I like to get them to wear a little rubber band, and so that when they have that, when they notice, when they're aware of having the thought that kicks them in the nuts, they just generally flick that elastic band and then repeat the positive affirmation. I get them to write the affirmation on their hand. I do this myself, not at the moment, as you can see, but you write the positive affirmation on your hand, so you flick it, read it, flick it, read it, flick it, read it, right? So that really is, to make you aware of that. So go ahead and do that. So just to summarize, first, the intention of the affirmation is a law of reflection. So you need to speak into the universe what you want reflected back. So that's one intention. And the second intention is to change your damning thoughts into loving thoughts, and to do that and do one thought at a time, right? That's really what I find. Like, create a new habit. It's like the mosquito effect, right? That mosquito comes and gnaws at you, and they bastards, and they leave a massive welt. But it is like those tiny mosquito effects, right? So just do that. right? That's my encouragement to you, anyway. So, yeah, I trust that was useful as always. Nice to speak to you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Ciao.